Evening, everybody. Welcome along to a late night rabble on this Monday night, Tuesday night. Is it
Tuesday.
Tuesday? Tuesday. Honestly, days have just
Tuesday.
morphed into days. So here we are. I messaged Martin earlier. I says I've not been on for a while with obvious reasons. So I thought a nice evening chat with Martin and the lovely people from other parts in the world that obviously can't watch the rabble live when we go live because it's stupid o'clock in the morning when they watch. So we did this. I believe you did this before, Martin, didn't you? You did a late one for the members that are obviously in other parts of the world.
Yes. Obviously, we've got quite a lot of people who subscribe and who are members who live in Australia, New Zealand, Canada, America. So from time to time, we do these sort of late night rabbles, which are, I suppose, regular time rabbles for people in those countries. So it's nice to kind of do these kind of we don't do them very often, obviously, because we're in Britain, so it can be quite tricky. But we like to do these every now and again just to kind of thank the people from abroad who watch the shows. Obviously, people like Stephen Robertson as well from Australia who tunes in at silly time at night for him to kind of tune into the afternoon rabbles and stuff. So it's nice to just kind of do these kind of shows for people abroad who it's a regular time for them, Brian.
Absolutely, absolutely. And as I said, I've not been on for a while, so it's nice to come on and just chat anything. And I think I'll leave this up to the chat tonight. We can obviously go in certain directions with the chat about anything we can think of speaking about, questions that the people want to put to us, but we can speak Rangers, we can speak about anything. This is not a certain topic of a pod. This is just, as it says, a late night rabble. We can speak about anything and everything. So anything happening in the world tonight, Martin?
Well,
No?
see,
Anything?
what's happened is, right, and I'll let everybody know, right. So what's happened is Brian messaged me about an hour ago. Brian, was that about
Yeah.
maybe an hour and a half ago, and he said, "Look, why don't we do a wee late night rabble tonight?" And I went, "Aye, do you know what? Okay, absolutely, let's go for it." So about 2 minutes before, no, about 30 seconds before we started, I went, "Yep, Brian, you're hosting." And he went, "No, no, 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 no." And I went, "Yep, Brian, you're hosting, go for it." So what he's tried to do is he's tried to throw all the pressure on everybody in the comments to say, "Why don't you set the agenda?" Because this was Brian's idea. So, well, I mean, what's happening in the world? I don't know. Any news for Kazakhstan, Brian? Anything happened over there?
It's some. I think I'm just a way to try and pull up that comment that somebody said. Where is it? Um, I'm just scrolling down. God Almighty. You know what I mean? God Almighty. What has happened?
Do you know? Do you know
Uh,
what?
Mark, Mark.
See, in all seriousness, right? It's been a crap start to the season, right? An absolute crap start to the season for us. We have drew the first three league games of the season. Yes, we beat Panathinaikos. Yes, we beat Victoria Pilsen. It's not went very good against
No,
Bruges in the first leg, but we've got rivals, right? And the only bit of comfort we've had this season, Brian, and do you know what? It's probably something worth a discussion is the fact that Celtic get put out tonight, right? So that stopped them from getting X amount of millions for playing in the Champions League, which, whatever way you want to look at it, is good for us. It's really good for us. Um, as much as we have come on here and spoke about wanting, Scottish teams to start doing better, to get the coefficient up so we can get more teams in the Champions League, more teams in the Europa, more teams in the conference, more teams in Scotland get a bit of money, make the Scottish League better. That in turn makes us better. That in turn makes us better in the Champions League, right? But when we've had such a stinking start to the season, do you know what? We've not had much to laugh at, to make fun of, to take the piss out of Celtic fans and Celtic for a long time, barring that one season under Gerrard. So, do you know what? See, tonight, put a wee bit of a smile on my face, Brian. I'm not going to lie. It put a wee bit of a smile on my face.
No, I mean, I kind of, I, I tend to if I do watch their games, I tend to watch them until they go ahead, and then I switch them off. That tends to be what happens. But to be honest, none of the both of them looked as though they were going to score, even in extra time. Both of them were really, really. I mean, for two teams that are trying to get into the Champions League, they were very poor teams, weren't they? They were. I
I
mean,
never seen a single second of it. I
oh,
genuinely, I was flicking through Twitter and I seen a clip from, I think it was BBC Scotland, and they were hammering Celtic. Must have been at half time. They were hammering them, saying how poor it was and stuff. And then I Googled, and it was like 82 minutes gone, and it was still nothing each.
yeah.
And I went, oh, right, okay. And I never watched a single second of the game. But from a Rangers point of view, because we're not on here to talk about Celtic, right? But from a Rangers point of view, Brian, we needed that. Celtic getting
Mm-hmm.
back into the Champions League and getting all the money that comes for that in terms of FFP, in terms of what they can then go and spend on players. I know that, they've done a lot in terms of selling players, and their books are well balanced and stuff. But anything that we can do to try and claw back a little bit in terms of the finances is absolutely imperative for us, because obviously I don't see. I'm just going to say, it's still tomorrow. I don't see tomorrow us doing anything against Bruges. I just don't see it. So
No.
the fact that they haven't made the Champions League is a boost for us, regardless of what way you want to look at it.
No, absolutely. I mean, that'll deflate them no end. I mean, I can't remember. I'm trying to find his name. Nicholas Lockhart. You said 133rd. Try 311, and they just moved up the rankings tonight because they got in the Champions League. So 311 they sit at Kirat Almaty.
But do you know what, Brian? Do you know what we should be genuinely talking about and genuinely looking at, right? Absolutely. I'm all here for it. Having a laugh and a joke about them getting put out against effectively a pub team, right? Because it's happened to us in the past, right?
Yes.
So I'm all here for it. I'm all here for laughing and joking, right? But see, at the end of the day, that's a poor Celtic team that have still won their 3 opening league games of the season, which you could argue were maybe harder than the games that we've played.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, absolutely.
they've still won their opening 3 games. We've drew our opening 3 league games. So yes, they've had a shocking result in Europe, right? A result that should never happen. But we still need to look inwards at ourselves and go, well, that Celtic team still won 3 games in the league, and we haven't won one yet.
Yes, absolutely. And obviously with the Jefty sale that's just happened recently, the news that Igaman has went for, I believe, £10.5 million.
12
Um,
million.
this release clause that suddenly came to light where nobody knew there was a release clause. I think some are
Where did
even
that where did that release clause come from?
nobody had heard of it, and then all of a sudden, even so there's folk even doubting that there was a release clause. But you can doubt it all you want. It seems awful funny. 10.5 million. It's a bit of a funny sort of number, isn't it? It's not the money that we were led to believe that was going to happen and stuff like that. So, but at the end of the day, it's 10.5 million we got for a guy from 1.5 million. So you can brush it up any way you want. That's good business from the club, especially from a guy who's basically chucked down tools. To get 10.5 million for somebody that's down tools, I think is tremendous business. Now what's got to happen is we've got to go out and get at least one, because there was links today with who was it today that Dessers was linked with? I put in the chat. Oh, good.
Panathinaikos.
Panathinaikos. So there's talk of Dessers going as well. So that'll be another 3 or 4 million. So it's the board have now got to act in the sense that they've got to start identifying guys who are going to replace the Igamans, the Jefties, possibly Dessers as well, because that leaves only Danilo as our only number 9. So we need two strikers in now. We need two. There's no ifs or buts about this now. Igaman is gone, Dessers is possibly going, but even I think if Dessers stays, we still need at least one striker, and we still need a fullback. And you could probably argue we still need a centre half. We still need bodies in that areas.
Right. So we've come on here and like right now in the UK, it's 3 minutes to midnight, right?
Hmm.
So it'll be like 3 minutes to 7 in some parts of America. It'll be like 3 minutes to 11, I think, in New Zealand and whatever it is in Australia. I'm actually surprised that we haven't seen Stephen Robertson in the comments yet, right? I forgot what point I was going to make, Brian. I'm not going to lie to you. I've completely forgot what point I was going to make. What was the question? I forgot.
I was on about the sales of players and who we're going to go for positions.
Right. So yes, sorry, that was going to be my point. I don't want to be negative, right? Because it's a bit of a late night rabble, and we want to try and have a bit of a laugh and a joke. It doesn't even necessarily be all about Rangers. It can be whatever you guys want to talk about. It can be a laugh and a joke. It can be a random rabble. It can be all about Rangers. It just depends on what you guys in the comments want to talk about, right? But until I see questions start to come in, I don't want to be overly negative. I don't want to be overly negative, right? But you're talking about who we're going to bring in. Are we going to bring in a centre back, another left back, a striker, whatever, right? I have got absolutely zero faith, and I'm going to go negative here, and I apologise. I have got absolutely zero faith in Russell Martin, right? None. Not a bit. Not 1%, not 10%, not 0.1%, 0% faith in Russell Martin, right? So that therefore means, Brian, if we are looking to bring in players for a Russell Martin style, I've got zero faith that they will work. But he's not going to be sacked, at least before the transfer window shuts, right? He's not going to be sacked. So, with all that being said, right, the fact that I've got zero faith in Russell Martin, so if we bring players in, I don't know what they're going to do because I don't trust the manager. We have to bring in a striker.
Oh, yeah.
Even if Dessers stays, we need to bring in a striker, right? We need to bring in a quality centre back, an experienced centre back. We need somebody who's been there, seen it, done it, has the mentality, has the confidence to come into this Rangers team in the state that we're in and absolutely control that back four. We need to do that, Brian. That is absolutely needed. Now, we've effectively, with the signings that we've made and the sales that we've made, practically broke even.
We're actually profit.
If not a little bit of profit. Right? So I would expect now the owners to go out and spend a little bit of money on 2 or 3 positions, and they have to be at least, Brian, centre back and striker.
Oh, definitely. And you've got to throw a left back in there as well, I'm afraid. Because Ridvan's away.
Yes,
away.
you do.
We've only got Magoma, who's the only recognised left back, so we need a left back as well. Again, somebody with experience. If we go down the route of signing 20, 21-year-old striker with potential, a 20, 21, 22 centre half, if we start going down that route with going forward, the fans won't take that. They won't. That won't wash for the fans. We're needing somebody to galvanize the team and to get bums on seats and to get people excited again. We're needing. I'm not saying they should break the bank because that's not what I want them to do. But at the same time, and they need a statement signing to say, right, we're going to back this manager, and this is the sort of signing that if somebody comes up that's you think, wow, we normally wouldn't get that, but we're going for it because we can. Then that's what we need. And as you say, we need somebody who has absolutely been there, done it, and wore the t-shirt and got the experience. And that is the 3 positions we need. We're crying out for now: is one striker, at least one, two of Dessers goes, and then you're looking at an absolutely big, massive centre half who is not taking no nonsense, and you need a left back because we cannot go into the season with Magoma as the only left back. The last time I was probably on was a week or two ago, and I was still apoplectic about the fact that we've only got one recognised left back, and that is if we're going to compete on all fronts this season, as in the cups, the leagues, and Europe, you need two for every position. Simple as that. And it's as I say, the fans. You can take the fans up the garden path for a little bit, but eventually they'll suss you're taking them on a merry dance, and they won't stand for it very long. You know what I mean? We've been promised and told that things are going to change a few times since Steven Gerrard left, and it hasn't worked. And we've bought into every single manager that says, "Oh, I'm the man. I'm going to change things. I'm going to bring back winning leagues and winning this." And the fans are very, how can I put it? They're very reluctant now to go all in with a manager. And the fact that they hired the manager they did, he didn't have much leeway as it was when he came in. In fact, he had probably the least leeway a manager's ever had that has come in. With his reputation and where he was.
Russell Martin had to make a good start in the league.
See if he'd won the first three games of the league and then got beaten in the playoff by Bruges, everybody like, well, fair enough. We've done well domestically. We weren't expected to beat Bruges. You could cut him some slack because we got into the Europa League proper. So if we'd won the first three league games and we are where we are in Europe, you could have turned around and says, well, you know what, Bruges are a really good team. Probably this early into the Russell Martin tenure, you'd have cut him some slack in the sense that you thought, okay, maybe the Bruges game was just a bit too far to get to Champions League, but at least we've got the 3 wins in the league. We're into the Europa League proper. So, but the fact is, it was 3 1-1s, 3 insipid 1-1 draws, 3 1-1 draws where you could argue we should have lost them all. We're lucky to get anything out of any of them, and I think that's the problem. If we had started in the league reasonably well, 3 wins, none of this sort of negativity would be happening because we'd still be tied with Celtic at the top of the league with 9 points. So this is the problem. He, as you say, he needed a good start. He didn't get a good start, and he is up against it. And the one thing that he did need was a good start, and he hasn't got it. And he's now calling players out. He's now throwing players under the bus, saying they're not doing this.
Listen, Brian, he's calling players out after that Motherwell game, which I completely agreed with. But then he's defending them. He's defending them after the Dundee game, which was worse than the Motherwell game, and it was at home. Yeah. So the problem is, I totally agreed with him calling out the players after Motherwell, right? But what I think that's shown is that was actually a mistake. Because then he couldn't come out after the Dundee game. He couldn't come out after the St Mirren game. He couldn't come out after the first game against Bruges. He can't continuously come out after every game and call them out. Because then we as supporters, we're not stupid, Brian. We would turn around and go, well, hold on a wee minute. This can't just be all the players' fault. This has to be down to your tactics. And the problem that Russell Martin's got is he's so reluctant to move from the tactics that he's got. So once the conversation switches from the players aren't doing it, the players aren't good enough, the players aren't this, the players aren't that, to, well, hold on a wee minute. If we change the way that we're playing a wee bit with the players that he's brought in, we might get better results. Russell Martin can't have the conversation switching that way because he won't change his style of play. So he's backed himself into a corner for day one. But I have to quash some horrible rumours, Brian, that I'm seeing. Some disgusting rumours that I'm seeing, actually. Martin, did you get your eyebrows waxed today as well? Martin, what happened to your eyebrows? Can I just say, right? that my eyebrows are the same as they've always been. I have not had anything done to my eyebrows. I've not had anything done to my eyebrows since like 1996, which was nearly 30 years ago, which is terrifying, by the way.
Do you not get
Do
your
you know what?
eyebrows cut when you go to the barber? No.
Do you know what? Do you know what? Do you know what I done once, Brian? Right. So I must have been about 8. Right. So you're talking 96, 97, and I got a pair of scissors, and I went into the living room, and I just started cutting my hair. So what happened then, Brian? What happened then? Out came the bowl. The bowl gets put over the head,
Oh
and it gets
no!
cut round the bowl. And I got myself a wee bowl cut. I think
I would
there's still
love
some
to see
pictures
that.
out there. There's still some
I
pictures
would
out
love
there.
to see that. I would love to see that photo. If Mel can send some of us the bowl cut, that would be tremendous.
I'll find the bowl cut picture, Brian, and I'll send you it, mate. Right? I'll send you it. Do you know what it is? It's one of the primary school pictures. It's just me with this big because I used to be blonde when I was younger. The
Did you?
blonde bowl cut. I was pure blonde, and then I can't remember what age I was. I dyed it Eminem blonde because I was in love with Eminem. Man, I
Yeah,
was
there
in
you go.
love with Eminem.
Your mum's obliged. There you go.
Yes. I take quite offence to that, Gorguts. How the F are you still in your 30s? Do you know that way? I mean, like, Brian, you're touching 60 now, right? Do you ever feel as if you're out your 20s? Like, because I'm 36 now. I don't feel as if I don't feel 36.
I can still play five-a-sides and not get a groin injury, so I'm fitter than you. Right? I can last an hour and a half at five-a-sides and not get a groin injury and broken ribs. And how is your ribs, by the way? Are they a lot better?
They're still quite sore, but they're a lot better. A lot better.
But you're not
Yeah.
you're not reaching for footballs or running around and being silly.
No, I'm not doing any of that. I still can't lie on my left hand side because it's my 2 left ribs that are broken. But yeah, I've been told to check the Discord, but I don't see anything in the Discord yet. So
It will be imminent. Don't worry, it'll be imminently putting there.
yeah, I mean, there's CJ in Northern Ireland. I'm 45 and just got a hernia for walking around IKEA.
Well, to be fair, I mean, IKEA is a fair hike, isn't it? You know,
IKEA's brutal.
that's what I'm saying. If you follow the arrows in IKEA, it's a fair walk.
Listen, I got lost in IKEA once and my missus had to come and find me because I couldn't find my way out. That's a true story. That is an absolute true story. I could not find my way out of IKEA. I got lost. I ended up just lying in a bath because I couldn't find my way out.
It's massive.
So
It's massive. Is there any questions,
right.
by the way, from any?
I mean, I've got the picture, but I don't really know if I want to show everybody the picture.
Oh, come on! It's the late night rabble. Who's going to see it?
Well, people in the morning are going to see it, Brian. It's not like a TV show, you know. But yeah, folks, listen, get your questions in. I've got some super chats here that I'm going to bring up. Firstly, from Rain. Thank you very much, Rain. But you need to put a comment in which you've learned from. I will give you that. But thank you very much for the support. The second super chat is from Rain. Martin, we get it from that lot. Get it up them. Well, yes, we do. And we get it quite often. So it's nice to be able to give it back every once and again, isn't it? Again, thank you very much for that, Rain. And the third super chat, Brian, you will be absolutely surprised to know, is from Rain. Thank you very much again, Rain. I've not had your opinion on this yet, Brian. But Russell Martin had every right to call out Eggman.
I think he did. I think it's highly disrespectful of the player to do that to his fellow players. I think it's disrespectful to the management and the the board members of the club, and I think most of all, it's disrespectful to the fans because we have well, excuse me, we have well, I wouldn't say idolized, but we've put this guy in such a high pedestal, saying that where some of the performances that he's done, he's taken the adulation, he's taken the plaudits for all his performance, for the performances that he's put in. And to turn around and say he wasn't going to go on the pitch when the manager wanted him, I thought was really, really bad. But unfortunately, this seems to be a thing now in football where if players don't get their own way, they just chuck the towel in. Isaac's done it at Newcastle. It just seems to be the new thing that if a player doesn't, if like I dare say the Leo bid came in and it wasn't what Rangers wanted, so Rangers turn around and says, "Well, we're not selling him for that." And then of course Hamza's taken the huff because we haven't, taken the bid that he thought we should have. So Rangers were quite right to not take the bid if they didn't feel that was the amount that they valued him at. And then for Hamza to turn around and sort of basically chuck his teammates under the bus because we needed him. If he came on, you never know what Hamza when he comes on the pitch. He might have made a difference. He might have got the winner. You just don't know. So no, it was really disappointing. And for him to turn around and say that he was injured is just insult to injury as far as I'm concerned. They did a medical test today and they found nothing wrong with him, funnily enough. So he's basically just lied as well. And I dare say there's a line here you could say he's in breach of contract. He's refused to work. So, he was in a whole world of trouble at the end of the day. He could, Rangers were quite within their rights to, fine him a month's wages or whatever it is that they can. It was just really, really poor. And I didn't think, Hamza would do that, considering the relationship that him and the fans have. But unfortunately, I dare say that the old agents were in his ear and telling him, "Don't go in the park, you might get injured, the move's off." So there you go. It's disappointing it's ended like this because I think we all wanted him to do well and then, see him off and go into the sunset and have a good career, but he's tainted his stay here, hasn't he?
Yes. I just want to pull this up because I think it's very true, right? So, Brian, I'm going to do this for a couple of seconds, and you'll know why I'm doing it. But I'm going to pull this up for a couple of seconds because I feel it needs to be shared. Martin, you even look quite sexy. So there we go. Hello. Yes. Yes. Yeah. No, it's public. My miss, my missus has popped into the room, not knowing that I'm doing this, and said, "Hi, Brian."
Hello.
He says hello. She said, "What do you mean? What do you mean, miss you? Like, close that door. Miss you. I'll miss you in a minute."
I'll you as well.
Don't you start. Don't you start. This might be 12:15 at night, right? But people will still watch this in the morning. Back to London's comment. Yes, I do look sexy now, and I told you all this. It's why I don't get a haircut and I don't have a shave because I look like this. So
comment. He's been hacked.
what's been hacked?
I've been hacked.
No, London, you haven't. You haven't. London said what he said. But yes, did you ask me a question, Brian? I'm getting. Wait a minute, Paul. I'm getting to the questions. I was just pointing out how sexy I look now. Come on, Paul. Give me a break, man. Do you know what? Actually, I want everybody to do in the comments. If you're from abroad, so i.e., if you're from America, if you're from Canada, if you're from New Zealand, if you're from Australia, if you're from anywhere else, get in the comments where you're from, where you're watching from right now, and what time it is where you are. Because I would like to do these more often, to be fair. I think, there's a lot of people from North America, America, Australia and that tune in. We've got a lot of members as well. So anything that we can do to give you a bit of a show, a bit of enjoyment, a bit of fun, at a time that's more suitable for you, I will always try and do. I mean, we've got David Andrews. He's in Brisbane,
There you
and it's
go.
9:15 in the morning. So there we go. I mean, Barry
That's why
Ferguson. Barry Ferguson's watching through his living room, which is quite scary. Because I've seen I've seen Barry on Go Radio, and he's been getting a bit of stick. So he has. And
DNK Costa del Thornley Bank.
well, yes. And Ian's letting us know that it's midnight in Glenrothes, which is always handy to know as well. It's 7:15 in Toronto, Canada.
So
there we go.
I dare say Toronto Bears no long had his tea.
I would probably imagine that. Right, William Martin, which is also the name of my uncle, to be fair. Question, sell-on fee. Now, I don't know, Brian, right? But I've been hearing all sorts of rumours from the Hamza Agamanti's previous club that there's a 10% sell-on fee, that there's a 30% sell-on fee. Regardless of what the sell-on fee is, and I don't know what it is, and I would imagine you don't know what it is either, we're still making a tidy profit on them.
Yes, absolutely, we will be. There will definitely be some form of sell-on clause. I think it's pretty much common practice now that every club that sells somebody, they put a sell-on clause. It's just it didn't ever used to be a thing, but I think now with the potential and the stupidness that some transfer fees command, because basically you could have a guy who, like, say, for example, Igaman, he goes to France. Say he does reasonably well in France. The teams in Saudi are going to go, oof, we're going to have him. And they're going to spend 50, 60 million on him. And they'll think nothing of spending 50, 60 million on a guy who's 22, 23. And there you go. There's your sell-on clause came up trumps because you put it in there. So it's almost a new phenomenon, this sell-on clause. I think it was very common probably on the continent. I think maybe European teams have been doing it far longer than the British teams. But
it's you have to do it in Spain, don't you? In Spain, they have to have a release fee.
Well, in Spain, every player has a release clause.
Yes, that's what I meant. Sorry,
every player,
a
yes.
release clause.
But a sell-on fee is certainly a new thing on the British shores. I think it's not a thing that we were ever involved in. But the Spaniards, Brian, and the Portuguese.
Do you want to see the bowl cut?
Go for it, please.
Do you want to see? Are you sure you want to see this?
Oh yes.
Do you want to know how blonde I really used to be?
Well, we're just about to find out, aren't we?
There you go.
Holy smokes.
Wow. Look at the size of those ears. Look at the size of them.
Look at the rosy cheeks.
Yep. That was the bowl cut.
That's what happens, folks, when you live in Hamilton. Look at this. Look what's happened to him.
Listen. I only moved to Hamilton. I was for Glasgow. So that's the bowl cut. There we go.
Hard paper rounds.
That must have been 1994, 1995 or something like that. Wow. There we go. I promised you I would show you the bowl cut. I've showed you the bowl cut. Let's move on.
Rocking the Victoria Wood haircut.
Absolutely was the Victoria Wood haircut. Absolutely.
That's brilliant, Andrew Gill. That's brilliant.
See, I was the original Ibiza King.
Oh, the Ibiza final boss, you mean?
The final boss or whatever his name is. I don't know his name.
It was the Ibiza final boss. Yeah. Yes. Come on, more questions.
That was not ginger. Wait a minute. That's blonde.
It's hard to tell, isn't it?
It is absolutely blonde. I can assure you I was there.
Strawberry blonde.
Who was that wee lassie?
Martina.
Yes, there we go. I used to watch that, Victoria. She was a stand-up comedian, wasn't she, back in the
Yeah,
90s? Um, yeah,
yeah.
I used to watch her. Yeah. Right,
She was good.
some questions.
Well,
Um, let's see. For Beep Bop Boop, how do you feel about how the game will go on Sunday right now? I'll be honest with you, Brian, regardless of their result tonight, or if you're, in fact, yesterday now, because we're after midnight.
yeah.
I'm still not confident. Last week, I don't know why, but I don't know if I've mentioned this right. I'm a bit of a big deal now. I was on Talk Sport, right? I said on Talk Sport,
I
we'll
think
drop
it's
points.
Connor.
No, I'm not. Nobody's as big as Connor. Connor's like, do you know who he is?
Mm.
I said on Talk Sport, we'll drop points against St Mirren and we'll beat Celtic. I don't think as we sit, and I hope I'm so wrong, Brian. I really hope I'm so wrong. I just don't think we've got it in us to beat them. I really don't.
Thing is, the amount of times, the amount, you know, the amount of times we've written them off when we've came up against them,
Yeah, yeah.
and sometimes they've surprised us. Um, I do. I always deep down thought that the Bruges game was a step too far. I thought they were.
Hmm.
I just thought they were far too good for us. They were. They've been in the Champions League quite regular over the last few years. They've made some serious money from sales as well. They've sold a lot of. De Ketteler. He went to. Is it De Ketteler? I think his name is. He went to AC Milan. They've sold a lot of guys for big money. Um, so I always felt the Bruges game was going to be a step too far. The Celtic game always takes care of itself purely because it is what it is. The game, the Old Firm game as it is. It's at home. We will have the vast majority of fans. And this is a game. This is a game where you can write yourself into history, into sort of folklore. If you pitch up and do a Morris Edu or
Yeah.
Morris Johnson like he did back in the day, score last minute winners. You can write yourself into into the hearts of the Rangers fans. But as I keep saying, I've said this many a time before, as you'll know, it's all very well doing it in Europe. It's all very well doing it against Celtic. It's the Motherwells, the Dundees, and the St Mirrens that are our problem.
Yep. Yep.
And it seems to be this is not going to change this season.
That's my worry.
Yes, and will I be surprised if we win? No. Will I be surprised if we get beat? No. But that's just Rangers just now. I
Mhm.
wouldn't be surprised if we go and get a decent result against them on Sunday. Or at the same time, I wouldn't be totally surprised if we lost. That's just the way we are just now. It's just, you don't know what you're getting. It's as simple as that.
No, you don't. And I mean, Sonic Boom, don't get a big heat, but came across very well on Talksport. Oh, stop it. Stop it. Stop that.
He's,
That's
he's
not
best
right.
mates with Tony Cascarino and Natalie Sawyer now. Did you not
Yes.
know?
Martin, not to blow smoke, you were excellent on Talksport. Stop it, Rain. No, I wasn't. I wasn't
Come on.
very good. Stop it.
Come on.
Um, listen, me and Tony got on quite well, to be fair. Every time.
He,
Do you
he
know what was
agreed
do
with
you know what
all you
was
said.
do you know what was really good about that, right? I've been on Talksport a few times because obviously we've got the partnership now with Talksport, right? It's not because I'm any good. It's not because I know what I'm talking about. It's just because we've got the partnership with Talksport, right? That's basically it.
Absolutely.
But so I've been on it a few times, right? The only host, really, or presenter or co-host or whatever on Talksport that's really took Scottish football seriously is Tony Cascarino.
Yeah.
That whole conversation, he was invested in it. Don't get me wrong, Natalie Sawyer's lovely. She was trying her best. She was invested. You can tell that she wants to be into it, but she doesn't really know that much about it. I mean, she got the name of the podcast wrong, which I had to pull her up on. But Natalie Sawyer's lovely. But Tony Cascarino, I think it's really difficult for Talksport presenters to understand why we take our football club so serious because they look down their nose at Scottish football. And to be honest, I can't really blame them. I can't blame them.
No, no. I mean, with the money that's awash down in England, it's very difficult. it's almost like we're the poor cousins, isn't it? We're the poor ones up north where money's quite scarce as far as the TV deal. We don't get anything like the money down in England, so they're they're swimming in money down there pretty much, and we're scratching around trying to find pennies off the ground to make things just to keep the lights on sometimes, and that's what it feels like. But no, I think Tony Cascarino was pretty spot on with whatever he said. He appreciated that that Rangers should be doing better. He appreciated that the gaps there, but is the our Celtic as far ahead as everybody makes out? Are they, or is it the fact that they've built up this sort of aura about them that if you do go to Celtic Park, you are pretty much in for a scudding? That's the problem we don't have just now. We don't have an aura at Ibrox because teams feel that they can come and get something at Ibrox. We don't have that fortress at Ibrox just now. We used to have that. Teams were beaten before they even came out the tunnel at Ibrox years ago. Unfortunately, now that is dissipated a long time ago, and we've got to somehow rekindle that sort of feeling that teams are under pressure as soon as they walk out the tunnel. But it's going to take a mighty bit of luck with maybe a couple of signings before the window shuts, and a bit of form drop off from the team at the top of the table as well before we're getting ourselves back into the league. So it's going to be there's a lot of moving parts that have got to go into place before we get back into the sort of the title fold, isn't there?
Right.
So you all right? Is that you pulled your groin again?
No, listen, I'm over 30, right? And it's after midnight, so I had to run to go somewhere, right? And I ran back and I need my desk.
Honestly, God. You're a walking disaster, aren't you?
It's just so bad. I need my desk and I'm in quite a bit of pain, if I'm being brutally honest with you. So I am. I'm in so much pain.
How are you so clumsy?
I don't know, Brian, right? Leave me alone. Right?
Jeez.
I know that you were a natural at sport and I was a natural at, hurting myself, but
yeah.
Aye, James, pretty much. I want to confirm that I was blonde, right? Because it's annoying me now. So here's a I might as well listen, see if you can't take the mick out yourself on the internet, then when can you take the mick out yourself, right? So this is a picture from a little bit earlier than that one. Right? And you will see how blonde I was. There we go.
Jeez,
That's how blonde I was. Now the colours, obviously I didn't pick those colours because I was away. But yeah, I was blonde. There we go. I just wanted to point out that I was blonde. And do you know what? Yeah, like an episode of This Is Your Life. Who used to host that, Brian? What was his name?
Terry Wogan.
No, but who hosted it before him?
Oh. Now you ask.
That's a comment. That's a comment and a half, by the way. I bet that desk came out of nowhere.
Eamon Andrews, there you go. It was him. Yeah, that's
Eamon Andrews. That was it.
Michael Parkinson. No, I don't think Parkinson did it. No. Wogan, was it Wogan did Wogan not do it as well?
I don't think it was Wogan.
Was it not?
I think it was.
Or was it Parkinson?
I
can't remember.
No, I don't think Parkinson done it.
No.
I just wanted to prove
Michael
that I was blonde hair.
Michael Aspel, that's it. Mac, well done. Or James Cameron, sorry. Yeah, Michael Aspel, well done.
There you go. Yeah. That was the one.
I
mean, I'm not going to say the joke, right? But Subo99 has put a super chat in. So what did you think of McCoy's joke on TalkSport? right next to Shaban. I thought it was hilarious. I'm not going to lie. I thought it was hilarious,
Yeah,
Brian.
yeah, yeah. I'm not saying the joke either.
All I'm going to say is go and watch the film E.T. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah, fair play to him. You could tell Jeff Sterling was really. He was like
Didn't
that.
quite know
I
what
don't.
to
I don't know what to say here. I really don't know what to say. Um, and another super chat in from Detective Munch. If we sack Russell Martin, who do we want get to replace him? Again, Brian, my answer to this is always I don't know because that's not my job.
Yeah, we could say names and it doesn't really matter. So it's the problem is it's who's available and who wants it. That's the bottom line. First of all, there's got to be availability from somebody. Because the last thing you want, well, do you really want to be paying out more money to? You're obviously going to pay money to sack somebody. Do you want to then pay out more money to hire somebody? So it's a difficult one. This I think the obvious one obviously is somebody who may be sitting in the Middle East, but he can't work because for tax reasons, so he's out the equation. So it's going to be an extremely interesting situation if we do sack Russell Martin. It really will. I mean, I'll put it to you, Martin. If we lose against Bruges and we lose against Celtic, do you think the board will act then? Martin,
On mute. Sorry, I'm on mute. Yes, okay. No, I don't. I don't think the board will act. No,
no.
no. I hope they do,
Do
but
you
I don't
think
think they will.
do you think they're going to double, triple, quadruple down on this?
I don't think they're going to quadruple or down on this, but I think they'll let it go for another few weeks, another maybe a month or two, maybe 3 months. I don't think they're going to. I don't think they're going to sack him soon. I hope I'm totally wrong in that. I really do. I hope they come over it against Celtic, and even if, and I hope we do win. They see the style of play and they look at the last results before the Celtic game and they go, "No, that's not good enough."
Well,
Because
who was?
Brian, there's no evidence. We have zero evidence that it's going to get any better for Sunday.
Yeah,
No
I
evidence,
know.
none.
No, I mean the last time I remember being at Ibrox when it was the Celtic game and we lost, and I believe it was Mr. Beale was the manager, and that was a horrible, horrible atmosphere that day. That was
Mhm.
the that was very very toxic that day. And I remember it vividly because yeah, grown men, lassies, didn't matter how old you were, male or female, they were going tonto and like veins in their necks, screaming, absolutely livid. And it it took you aback because you're like, geez, oh, I've not seen it like this for quite a long time. And I'm worried that depending on the score on when, like, today, tonight, and the score on Sunday, I mean, it could get really nasty on Sunday. It really could. It could really go over the top. And I mean, I believe the board are in town for this on Sunday, or the owners they're
Yes,
in town,
yes, the owners are
so
here.
they're
Yeah.
gonna they're gonna feel the full force of Ibrox if things go wrong on Sunday, and I dare say they will have a problem. They will have a decision to make because they'll be seeing what the fans are saying and they won't be amused at all.
No.
So it's going to be interesting.
Slipstream is saying, Martin, are you aware the thumbnail is a New Zealand flag? Yes, I am. Um, because it's to point out that we are doing this at a time that suits people in those areas. So I had the choice of flags and I thought, I'll go with the New Zealand flag. I'm pretty sure you all know why I'm going with the New Zealand flag. I don't think it's any real surprise to anybody that I chose that flag. Um, right. Arlene McLean, channel member, has got a question for you, Brian.
All right.
Can I ask where Brian is from?
Yes, I am from the northern parts of Scotland called Forres. So that's where I've lived most of my life. It's where I currently am, and I currently enjoy a jaunt down in the supporters bus from Elgin. It picks us up in Forres. We go down the A9 and we have a really good laugh and a really good joke and banter. We go to the games, and then we come home, and we get home about 9:30 at night. And that is my days at the football. So yeah, up from it's
Yeah,
been
but
costing for Forest today. It's been absolutely roasting up here today.
wait a minute. What Brian's not telling you is that even before he gets to Elgin, he can't remember anything after that.
Well, to be fair, I
Um,
never stepped in Elgin because the bus comes from Elgin to Forest.
oh, right. Well, when Brian steps on the bus, that's about as much as he remembers. Because I've met Brian a few times in Ibrox when he's got the bus down, and yeah, I don't think he's remembered meeting me. So
I have.
I'm at, oh, Brian, don't you start. Don't you make me tell some stories on here, Brian, um, involving French toast. Um,
William Elgin is rough. It's rougher than Forest.
what, Elgin?
Oof, atrocious.
I don't want to start a feud between
All right,
Elgin and
I'm
Forrest
well
on the
used to it.
podcast.
I'm fine. Fine.
Oh, James, bottle of Bucky is demolished before the bus hits there, and you've no idea, James. You have no idea. Um,
To be fair, you have seen that firsthand, Martin.
yes. Do you drive the bus from Forest, Martin? I've no drove a bus now
No,
for 5 years, six
no.
years. I've not drove a bus for 6 years.
Detective Munch, no, he hasn't because the bus has never crashed. And he
Every
hasn't, and our bus driver hasn't fallen asleep going around a corner.
No, I think you'll find I fell asleep driving onto and then off a roundabout, actually.
Oh, well, that's
Um,
even worse.
I know. How do you fall asleep midway on a round? I don't know. Dinner time in Canada. As always, enjoying the Rangers Ramble. Thank you very much, James. Uh, See, the next time I'm on with Natalie, man, I'm going to need to tell her the abuse I've taken because of it's absolutely unacceptable. Blue Mac has put in a super chat without the chat, but Blue Mac, thank you very much, channel member as well, for the support. Rain's back in again. Thank you very much, Rain, channel member. Brian, spelt incorrectly, right? But it's not, Brian doesn't take that too serious. I'm going to get moaned at after we finish for 10 minutes, Rain, because you've spelt his name incorrect, right? But he won't do it in front of you because he's a bit like that. Three managers with this lot, manager or players?
I've went back and forth on this, and I, I still think I've now I've now got to the point where I think there's too much of the old man, like the old players are still there. I appreciate that Tav isn't the sort of issue just now, and I appreciate that guys like um, Butland have been there for a while. But the problem is we've all thought it's been the manager's problems for a good while. We've all sort of blamed managers and blamed this. But there's got to be a point where you go, is it really the managers? Is it not the players? You know,
Eight of the new players started against St Mirren.
yeah, yeah. Well, and then the problem with the St Mirren game was we didn't start a striker, but we had two in the bench.
Mm-hmm.
So at times I'm thinking it is the managers, and at times I'm thinking it's the players. And I genuinely don't know which way to go. I really don't. There's times that, like, say, Butland will have a good game. He had a good game. Who was it we played in Europe? Was it Panathinaikos? He pulled off the wonder saves against Panathinaikos, or was it the game after? I can't remember. But he played well. But then he's liable to, like, just ridiculous mistakes. I don't generally I don't think you can blame him for the St Mirren one, because that was the defence. And the problem, as you said before, Martin, we haven't got the experience in the defence. There's no, as much as Suter as a Scotland international, and he's been at Rangers now for what, 3 seasons? It's his third season, at least third season, I would say. You would think that he would carry, a bit of experience and a bit of responsibility, but there's times that you really wonder about John Suter, isn't there? You really wonder
Mhm.
what's going on in his head sometimes, because he just comes out with the biggest clangers you'll ever see. And he did say to Fernandez on Sunday, look, tuck in and pull in, and he was pointing to him to do it, and he didn't. So I don't know. I go round and round and round with this, thinking it's the players, then it's the managers. I just don't think. I just think a lot of the players just aren't good enough.
Yeah.
Still, I just think a lot of
Well,
them are.
I don't know. I think there's a few of the new players that I've looked at, and I thought under a different manager they could probably be quite good. To be fair,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
I think this time it is absolutely the
I
manager.
think it's more for this
Listeners,
time.
there's a few more. I can't believe there's over 550 people watching at 1:45 in the morning.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely incredible. James Cameron, we need to do a Rabble magical mystery tour with Martin driving. No, you don't, James, because you all want to go home safe at the end of the night. Blue Mac, Martin, why do buses not turn up on schedule? They're either super late or super early. I could do a full podcast on that very question, right? But let me tell you, the majority of buses turn up on time. It's a misnomer, it's a fallacy that they don't turn up on time. The short answer is traffic, the actual people who schedule the timetables, because there's sometimes you can have 8 minutes to go from one bus stop to the next, and there's sometimes you can have minus 10 seconds to go from one bus stop to the next. There's loads of reasons why buses don't turn up on time. And they don't turn up early anymore because they're all tracked and you get sacked. See, with first bus, if you're 30 seconds early or more, you get sacked. So they don't turn up early anymore. A mate of mine was 20 seconds early and he got a first and final warning. So, yeah. Right. Well, we'll finish up shortly, Brian. But I don't want you to take this question too far, too long, right? But I'm going to ask you anyway. It's for multiple man. We've got a super chat for Ian Mitchell to come up as well, right? So, a couple of golf questions for you, Brian. Would you like to see the Ryder Cup held at Augusta? Also, should there be a fifth major for men that is held around the globe instead of the same 4 majors every year? Please answer efficiently.
No, I wouldn't like to see the Ryder Cup at Augusta, and I'll say because I feel that the Masters has got an aura about the place. The guys that play the Ryder Cup will already play Augusta, and the guys that have qualified for the Ryder Cup will always play at Augusta anyway in the Masters. So no, I'd like to see the Augusta kept for the Masters. Simple as that. I just feel there's Augusta's got an aura about it, and I'd like to keep it that way. It's one of those places you've got to earn to play. All right, you earn your place in the Ryder Cup, yes, but it's not everybody that turns pro that can play at Augusta and get you get in the Masters. So I would like to keep it like that. And then, well, technically there is a fifth major, but they just don't call it the fifth major.
Yeah.
The Players' Championship at Sawgrass. I've always argued that the Australian Open should be a fifth major. The Australian Open, they play some fantastic golf courses down there. Absolutely brilliant golf courses. And I would like to see Australia, given there is an Australian Open, but it just isn't called a major for some reason. Like in tennis, there's the Australian Open. You've got the Ashes and the tennis, the cricket. You've got the Australian Open tennis, the Australian Open golf. So yeah, I'd like to see the Australians given a given a major nod. Simple as that.
Well, to be fair, in terms of golf, Brian, that was very efficient for you because me and you've spoke golf on the phone, and I phoned you on the Tuesday, and it's actually the following Wednesday that we got off the phone. So that was quite efficient for you, to be fair.
Yeah.
Somebody's asked, should we do a Ryder Cup Rabble? Only if Brian's playing for the Rabble, we'll do it. If Brian's playing golf for the Rabble, I'm up for doing it. I'm absolutely up for doing it. JD's asking, so is this a potential Midnight with Martin segment? No, I will not be doing this every night, JD. Absolutely not. I do, believe it or not, although I'm on YouTube like 90% of my life, I do value my relationship. That wasn't my missus being nice and, oh, Brian, I miss you. That was my missus saying to me, what are you doing? But she's just been smart about it. Let's get to the super chat from Ian Mitchell. Thank you very much, Ian, channel member, massive supporter of the channel. So thank you very much, Ian. Do you think if we lose both games, the board will start looking in the background? My hope, Brian, would be that the board are already looking. I just don't see it happening this early.
Well, I think the board. I know when the board first spoke, they said you wouldn't hear from us unless things were going wrong. Well, are things not kind of going wrong now? Are things not, on a sugary peg now? So I wouldn't be surprised. I'm like you. I wouldn't be surprised if they're looking. I think it depends on the manner of like, for example, as Ian's asking, if we lose both games, it's the manner of the result on Sunday. I think that'll be a huge telling point, sort of point to the board to say, well, this has been a disaster of a result. We haven't started very well in the league. 3 points, and potentially we're going to be 9 behind after Sunday, and we're not even into September. So I think the board will be under serious duress to do something after Sunday if things don't go right. And I think the fans will let them know, certainly around the main stand. They'll just be lucky that they're not near anywhere where I sit, or the Copeland or the Broom one, where the people around them aren't as sort of nice with their words. So I just think Sunday, it all depends on the manner of the result rather than getting beat. I think if we are comprehensively, beaten on Sunday, then I think the board will be starting to get itchy feet and thinking, oops, we've made a mistake. Personally, that's just my own personal opinion.
Made sure I came off mute before I spoke. So there we go. Ashes watch along still a possibility? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. If I'm allowed, and I'll come on to it in a wee second. If I'm allowed, then absolutely. Well, I do enjoy the Ashes. I enjoy cricket anyway, and I know that's not popular to say where we're from, but I do enjoy the cricket. And Janet's saying Martin's wife is the boss. Whose wife's not the boss? Not married, by the way, but whose wife's not the boss? I mean, if Brian was told he had to come down to close to me, then he would have to come down close to me very, very quickly because Brian's not the boss. But there we go. It's almost 8 o'clock in Ohio, Brian. I don't know why. I said that, but just thought I'd tell you.
Where the great Jack Nicklaus was from, the best ever.
Is he listen, we can't talk golf. We'll be here all night if we talk golf. Brian, I will let you do the outro since you are the host.
No problem at all. Well, thank you very much to everybody who's joined in tonight. As I say, I realise it was a late, impromptu, late night rabble, but I was sitting watching telly and I was flicking through the channels. I was getting bored and I thought, Martin will still be up surely, won't he? So I floated the idea, and here we are. So I hope you enjoyed tonight. As Martin said, we won't be doing this every night because Martin will be in the shed before you know what happens. But I hope you enjoyed it. It's, as I say, it was just it's kind of a show that obviously for the members that are obviously in far off places, the Americas, the Canadas, the Australias, the New Zealanders. So it was more for them because it's nice for them to watch it in like times that they're actually awake rather than having to watch them either repeated or at stupid o'clock. So it was more for the folk abroad. But thank you very much to everybody who is in the UK if they have watched it and stayed up and braved it till 10-1. If you've got work tomorrow, then good luck. Thankfully, I don't. Martin will be here at 10 in the morning tomorrow with your morning rabble, and then 12:30 with the afternoon rabble, and then of course we'll have I believe it'll be the preview tomorrow for the Bruges game, and Big Alex with the watch along. Is he doing it on his own now?
It's a single man job now. So Alex is on tomorrow, and I'm doing it myself on Sunday.
There you go. So Big Alex will be on tomorrow. So that'll be that, and then a reaction after the game tomorrow. But as I say, this was a bit of a late one, but we'll try and plan these a bit better in the future. Thanks to everybody in the comments. Thanks for all the questions. Thank you to Martin. Thank you.
Thank you for taking all my talking points for the morning and afternoon rabbles as well, by the way. So thank you for that.
No problem. But I mean, here, it could change. Everything could... Oh, hold on. Super chat.
Oh, do you want me to do it? All right, okay, I'll do it.
Your Mo 199, thank you very much. Must be appreciated. Would you do a World Cup rabble next year? Well, I dare say there's a great chance of that happening, Martin.
Probably. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. My life is now in this room. That's effectively my life now. So there's probably every chance of that happening, to be fair.
If Martin panned his camera just a little bit to the left as we look his right, there'll be a mattress on the floor there very shortly.
I'm surprised there isn't already, to be fair.
He'll be in the shed with no time at all, believe me.
Well, I don't have a shed. I've got a garage, but I don't have a shed. But yeah, I'll be very surprised if I'm allowed in the room. I'll be honest.
Absolutely. But there we go, folks. We will try and do these a bit more frequently in the sense that you guys can plan.
Will we, Brian? Will we do these more frequently, will we? I'm glad that you've took the initiative and decided that.
Yeah. Well, more frequently than once every 6 months or once every year. We'll try and do them a little bit more frequently than that.
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah, probably we will. Yeah. Let's face it. I don't get out of the house. So... JD, stop this once a week nonsense. Absolutely not once a week. Probably once. But
anyway, that is the schedule for tomorrow, folks. Martin will, as I say, will be back at 10 a.m. on the dot with the morning rabble. Thank you for joining us, and we'll speak very, very soon.
It has been an almighty good night. It has, to be fair.
Tremendous.
It has. It really has. Thank you for joining us, folks. Good night.